Immersed Robot.
Hello everyone, welcome to Immersed Robot again. So in this video I wanted to give a few of my first impressions of No Man's Sky in the Reverb G2. So I have already done a video on Elite Dangerous, basically just, I tried that very quickly after first setting up the Reverb G2, and you can check that out, it's on the channel. But now, another one of my favourite games is No Man's Sky, of course. So I wanted to give this one a try, and it also gives me an opportunity to try out the motion controllers with the Reverb G2, which are... There's many mixed reports with these. Mainly, people say that the motion tracking on the actual controllers themselves is not great. And for me, for the most part, I think it depends a lot on the lighting in your room. For the most part, they're fine, but the vertical field of view that I'm finding is an issue. So if I put my hands too far down by my sides, then it loses tracking. It's like the tracking cameras on the headset just don't have that vertical field of view on something similar like the Quest or the Quest 2 or even the Rift S, for example. So that's mainly an issue, and you can see this not too much in this game, but you can see it on like the Steam VR home section, where if you're pointing at something you've got that laser pointer that sticks out, and then if you lower them down you'll find that the laser tracking, the laser pointer doesn't respond correctly because it's losing positional tracking of your hands, and you'll still get like the rotational tracking and stuff like that, but you don't get the positional tracking, so you can tell when it's losing tracking. But overall I'm not having too much of an issue with them. They're perfectly serviceable for the most part, at least in terms of what I've tried so far, and again this is still very much early days. But just looking through this now, so I'm still having the issue with the sweet spot because I'm still using the standard default facial interface which comes with the Reverb G2. Apologies, I didn't put on the smooth turn just to make this video, so it might be a little bit abrupt when I make turns in the game. But looking directly up, like at the stars and stuff like that, it looks incredible. It really looks so clear and crisp in the central portion of the lenses, and yet at the same time you do have this sweet spot issue that I'm finding is it's still an issue, and I'm hoping that the facial gasket, the facial interface that I've ordered, which will improve the field of view, will also help with the sweet spot issues that I'm having. But the game looks fantastic, and just for your reference, I'm running this at 80% Steam VR super sampling. Now that's what I had to do in order to maintain 90 frames per second, and although I'm not running FPS VR in this video, I am maintaining that pretty solidly on this planet and on other planets in this system that I've tried. And the reason I had to use 80% Steam VR super sampling is because whenever I tried it at 100%, it was just too much. It was reprojecting quite a lot. And yet now on planets, I've still got basically a sharper, a clearer image than I get on my Valve Index at 150% Steam VR super sampling in this game. And the performance is comparable. So you can see there, actually I just had a little glitch with the motion controllers, and that's because it dropped down by my side too much. So you can see a little example there of where the motion controllers do fail. You never get that in the Index or some other controllers that I've used with this game, like even the Quest 2, for example. So yeah, the motion controllers, they're fine, they're serviceable, but I've got to say that they're not perfect, and the tracking with these is probably the main downfall. Headset tracking isn't an issue at all. I've never had any issues whatsoever with actual headset tracking, but yeah, the motion controllers are probably, I just feel like maybe the camera position or the field of view of the cameras or something like that is just not quite adequate in order to give a comparable experience to the Valve Index. But they're fine. I wouldn't say that they're a big problem, but they're still something worth mentioning, of course. But yeah, No Man's Sky in this game is running really, really well. So that's the main takeaway from this video. I just wanted to give this very quick impression, really, because I went in here and it just looks so sharp, and it's running really well as well. So in spite of some of the issues that I'm having with this headset in terms of field of view, sweet spot, it's still a fantastic game to play in this headset, and it works really well. Let me just quickly go into my ship, and we'll see how well it performs when I take off. I did travel from one planet to this one before making this video, and it seemed to perform okay. And even now, yeah, so we're performing pretty well here, I can tell. The reason I'm not running FPS VR is because sometimes when I go into the Steam VR dashboard, when playing certain games, No Man's Sky being one, I've noticed that when I come back out running FPS VR, it seems to interfere a little bit with the display, and I get sort of a black bar across the bottom that won't go away. So that's the reason I'm not running FPS VR, to show you more accurately on the video. But I can assure you that when I have tried it, I am running it pretty solidly 90 FPS on planets, and of course in space there are no issues with frame rate at all. And although it's 80% Steam VR super sampling, as I've mentioned, it looks sharper than it does in the Valve Index at 150%. So these are all great things. There's still compromises with this headset, but that resolution bump is definitely welcome in certain aspects. So yeah, that's pretty much it from this video. I just wanted to give a few of my first impressions on No Man's Sky with this headset. With it being, you know, another one of my favourite VR games, I wanted to give a quick impressions on this. Of course, I'll probably make more videos on No Man's Sky as I get used to the headset, especially when I get the new facial interface as well, because that will be interesting to see how that affects the game in terms of field of view and the sweet spot issues that I'm having at the moment. But thank you for watching this video, and I guess I'll see you next time. Please consider supporting Immersed Robot on Patreon, or joining the Discord, or following me on Twitter, or better yet, all of the above. Links in the description below.